Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing fine.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. all should be good, irrespective of whatever hour of the day it is. So we will continue, friends. Hopefully, others join. They are coming. It's well and good. Otherwise, also we will. So yesterday's class, I was trying to discuss about the various aspects of your last block, in which our focus was on local power structures. So when we are talking about local power structures, our discussion will be with regard to how the power is exercised at a local level. So usually one gets a question in mind that what do you mean or what do you imply by local level? Is it because when you're talking from international perspective, country level becomes local level. When you're talking from country's perspective, state level also can be a local level. But when we are talking about local power structures, our focus is with regard to local governance, especially with reference to villages. We are talking about Panchayati Raj institutions. And when we talk about urban power structures, urban local power structures, our focus is on municipalities. So before I proceed further, just let me quickly share the screen. Yes, I hope the screen is visible, and this is what I was trying to discuss in yesterday's class, that power can be based on multiple elements, multiple factors, like how much land you are controlling, with regard to your caste system, what is the numerical strength of a particular community, and what are the positions held. Then we also discussed about dimensions, especially zamindari system, where India very much reflected a kind of a feudal economy. Then caste system is a very, very strong aspect whenever you talk about power system in India. And we also discussed about panchayats. Now, panchayats, as I told you, it dates back to Vedic period. And why village panchayats become important in our discussion in political sociology basically is, see, when you're talking about political sociology, if you can recall my first class, we are also talking about elections, voting patterns, government. We have also discussed the concept of welfare state. So when you're talking about things like welfare state, when you're talking about civil society participation, when you're talking about democracy, we have to ensure that even the weakest sections of the community, of the society, they get an opportunity to opportunity as part of political participation. So Panchayati Raj institutions in India, they are one of those unique platforms which not only are wonderful examples of grassroots level governance, but also panchayats and the present day Panchayati Raj institutions, they are facilitating, giving representation to the people of all communities, especially the marginal. Like we know that for a long time, untouchability has been one of the critical concerns with regard to Indian society. Though Article 17 of Indian Constitution, it abolishes untouchability, but we know that even in the remote areas, untouchability is still a concern. So as a student of political sociology, we have to also analyze that how can we use our political systems, how can we use our political powers to facilitate that we are able to eradicate untouchability completely, because it has been a very, very inhuman practice. If you analyze the various incidents, evidences with regard to untouchability. అయితే ఇవన్నీ చేయడానికి వీకర్ సెక్షన్స్ కి కూడా పొలిటికల్ పార్టిసిపేషన్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఉంది. ఆ సందర్భంలో పంచాయతీ రాజ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ బికమ్ very, very important. This is what we discussed in yesterday's class. How Panchayati Raj has evolved period, right? In Kautilya's Arthashastra also, we have a wonderful mention about panchayats and about governance. Medieval period, even during rule, and came to India, we will see Panchayati Raj. During British period also, we have seen that Panchayati Raj institutions had a very, very important role to play. And when you talk about post-independent India, Balwant Rai Mehta Committee was a kind of a milestone with regard to development of Panchayati Raj. Endukante Balwant Rai Mehta Committee ne idi suggest chesindi. Only suggested that we should have a three-tier structure at village level, block or mandal level, and at district level. And after 20 years, because Balwant Rai Mehta Committee was formed in 1957, and after 20 years, in 1977, Ashok Mehta Committee was also appointed to look into what are the developments or what are the things we can do, what kind of reforms we can bring in Panchayati Raj institutions to make it more more prominent at a grassroots level. At the Panchayati Raj is of local governance, but also decentralization. మనము పవర్ కి డీసెంట్రలైజ్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా, మొత్తం సెంటర్ చేతిలోనే కాకుండా ఇస్తున్నాం కదా. సో this is one of the beauty of democratic societies. Democratic societies are they clearly reflect decentralization, and that is why Panchayati Raj is not only important to showcase the decentralization of power. So this is what I did till yesterday's class, and I just want to continue, and probably we will be able to talk the focal issues in all these 3 units of block 5. And see, apart from these 2 committees, there were several other committees. One may think that, okay, only these 2 committees were there, and on the basis of whatever they said, everything was finalized. No. Time to time, periodically, committees have been appointed to assess, analyze that how best we can improve Panchayati Raj functioning in India, because as I told you in yesterday's class, India's population, 69% even today resides in villages. So if India has to develop, its villages have to develop. And if villages have to develop, Panchayati Raj institutions have to be strong, it has to be transparent, and it has to be accountable. And especially after ICT coming, ICT is information and communication technology. Now see, when we were in degree, or when we were doing our school, our parents would go to office to pay the bills. But because of ICT, e-seva centers have come up. Similarly, now we see that most of the land records are being maintained online. And our own Telangana state, our CM, Honorable CM KCRG, he has come up with this concept of Dharni portal also. So why I'm giving this example? I'm giving you this example to convince you all that even the local governance, village governance, there is impact of ICT. So Panchayati Raj through ICT is interconnected at all India level. And in fact, we have this National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, which is doing very good work to strengthen Panchayati Raj. So apart from these things, different committees like Hanumant Rao Committee, was formed. Apart from LM Singhvi committee was also formed. Sarkaria Commission came into existence. Harlal Singh Khara committee was also there, but two very prominent, because keeping in view the limitation of time, GVK Rao committee, what it said was very, very important. It said that district should be made the basic unit of planning and also holding regular elections, because many villages put together is one mandal or one block. Many blocks put together is one district. So if you are able to have Jilla Parishad elections properly and ensure democratic participation of the people, then it can go a long way to strengthen Panchayati Raj system. Recommended that more and more financial resources is required. See, most of the times our development gets halted. It it lacks the pace. A speed to development jargale. A speed to chala salu enduku jaragadu endukante financial resources kuda restricted untayi kabatti. Aithe LMCV committee, that is why they recommended very strongly that more and better financial resources are required, and also you need to give constitutional status to panchayats, and because of which 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment becomes very, very important. Here, I would like to give you one more example. Our former Prime Minister, late Sri Rajiv Gandhi, in one of the public meetings, he said that whatever money we are sending from center to the states, and by the time it actually reaches the original beneficiary, most of it is lost somewhere. To explain his point, he gave an example that, for instance, if center is giving 1 rupee, by the time it actually reaches the original beneficiary, it is only 10 paisa. So 90 paisa is somewhere lost in the middle level channels. And that is why we will see that in 2014, when NDA government came to power, they came up with this concept of DBT, direct benefit transfer. As part of this DBT, what is happening? Center doesn't send anything to the state, and then state doesn't distributes it. It's sent from center. There is a direct transfer of money into the account of the beneficiary. So see, I was talking about ICT, right? So because of information and communication technology, so much of online banking also has been strengthened to a great extent. And when NDA government came into power, when it started Jan Dhan Yojana, as part of which bank accounts, opening bank accounts were made mandatory. People thought that what is this? What foolishness is this? What foolishness is this? Why should a government think of opening the bank accounts? But the purpose was this, and we all have seen that during this pandemic time, this direct benefit transfer of directly transferring the money to the end user beneficiary, in this also ICT has played a very, very important role. So today's panchayats are, in most of the places, they are high-tech panchayats. When I say high-tech, what I mean is basically using of more and more of communication technology, and institutions like NIRD, they take up wonderful training programs for sarpanches, for the Jilla Parishad presidents, for Panchayat Samiti presidents, so that more and more development can be taken to the grassroots level. Friends, I hope I am making my point clear. If you have any doubts, any concerns, you can stop me in the chat box. And this is what I was telling you about 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment was very, very important, which was done in the year 1992. And when Indian Constitution came into power, Article 40 of Indian Constitution makes a clear mention of role of panchayats, and Article 246, it empowers the state legislature, means of any subject relating to local self-government. So see, this is what is the power of panchayats, because it's not that because they are operating at local level, they are not having any decision-making power or they cannot do things. So as part of Article 246 can make provisions, can do any kind of legislations to further strengthen their local governments. And this is a beautiful example of political decentralization. Moving ahead, friends. Now, this is in yesterday's class, we spoke in detail about Panchayati Raj, how it evolved. In today's class, we will have some discussion with regard to how this three-tier structure operates. So, as I told you, this three-tier structure operates at village level, intermediate. Intermediate level can be block or it can be your mandal, and district level. So at village level, Gram Sabha becomes very, very important. It is a primary body, and Gram Panchayat is in a way a temporary body which is taken from that Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha lo andar villagers members untaru, దానిలో నుంచి Gram Panchayat members select అవుతారు, and it is very, very important body at a village level. At a గ్రామం లెవెల్లో మనం చూస్తే విలేజ్ పంచాయత్ రోల్ చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఉంది, because it is the panchayat which is in direct contact with the problems at grassroots level. I will give you one small example. Now see, we all know that nowadays the planning is done by Niti Aayog. Earlier it was done by Planning Commission. At state level, if you talk, most of the planning is done by the respective departments in Hyderabad. Now, if Niti Aayog has to make any plan for, let us say, with regard to rural development or rural challenges, rural issues, until and unless you don't have the information of what is happening at grassroots level, can that planning be successful? It will not be successful. So, why Gram Panchayat is so important? Gram Panchayat is extremely important because it will work at grassroots level, and because it is in village itself. Niti Aayog officials are in Delhi. Because it is in village itself, they can play a very, very important role to implement the various government schemes, policies and programs. ఇప్పుడు వరకు ఏమవుతుంది, ఇప్పుడు నేను రాజీవ్ గాంధీ స్టేట్మెంట్ కూడా చెప్పాను చూడండి. మన దేశంలో బ్రహ్మాండమైన పాలసీస్ ఉన్నాయి, బ్రహ్మాండమైన డెవలప్మెంట్ స్కీమ్స్ ఇంకా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ప్రాబ్లం ఎక్కడ వస్తుంది, దాని ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ లో ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు దీనిలో కూడా మనం ప్రభుత్వంకి బ్లేమ్ చేయడానికి లేదు. For everything, we have the habit of blaming the government, and I think it's time this attitude should change. Instead of blaming the government, it is important for us to ask that how have I contributed for the development of my country? Why should I blame every time? Every time, why should blame go to the government only? So panchayats can be a fantastic agency to implement the various policies and schemes. Example, we have schemes like Ayushman Bharat, or Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is there, or reservation system is there. So many beautiful, now Narega scheme is there, Sitara scheme is there. So many such schemes which is exclusively focused on rural development. Gram Panchayat can play a very, very important role. Apart from that, can also identify the Narega scheme lo ఎవరెవరు eligible ఉన్నారు, ఎవరెవరు దానికి beneficiaries గా ఉండాలి, who are the people who should actually get the benefit of the program. All these things in this Gram Panchayat can play a very important role. Then in local level collection of taxes, also Panchayat has an important role, and maintenance of the village infrastructure. So maintenance of the village infrastructure can go a long way, because we know that even today, many of our villages, they are not connected with the mainstream road network. Andukosame, when we came up with Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, I'm sure you must have heard about this. Vinnara Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Have you heard about it, friends? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm sorry I'm having tea without sharing with all of you. I have some problem with my throat. So I hope you have no problem. You all can have tea at your respective ends. So hopefully when we meet in future sometime in Nizam College, I will have the pleasure of sharing tea with all of you. But right now, please do permit me. Okay. So Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana is one of the dream projects of central government, as part of which entire road connectivity across the country is being done. And in this, one of the major sub goals is also to ensure that even at state level road connectivity is done. So in such national level huge policies, ఇది ఏదో చిన్న పాలసీ కాదండి, ఇది చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాలసీ. ఇది ఇలాంటి ముఖ్యమైన పాలసీస్ లో కూడా గ్రామ పంచాయత్ చాలా ముఖ్యమైన రోల్ వాళ్ళు ప్లే చేయవచ్చు. They can be instrumental in strengthening the infrastructure, whether it is related with health infrastructure, education level infrastructure, primary school sarigga unda leda, malli ammayilki schools unnaya leda, malli inter colleges unda leda, okala chaala dooram undante విలేజ్ కి దగ్గరలోనే మనం ఏదైనా అలా క్రియేట్ చేయవచ్చా లేదా, ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేయవచ్చా లేదా, ఇవన్నిట్లో కూడా పంచాయత్ చాలా ముఖ్యమైన రోల్ ప్లే చేస్తుంది. ఒకవేళ చేయట్లేదంటే చేయగలుగుతుంది. Then at intermediate level, when you talk about block level, my dear friends, we have Panchayat Samiti, which is being looked by block development officer, and there is no need for an intermediate level in states having a population lesser than 20 lakhs as per Article 243B of Constitution of India. And main function of Panchayat Samiti is what? Planning, prospective planning. Prospective planning, ఇప్పుడు గ్రామ పంచాయత్స్ ఒక రఫ్ ప్లాన్ చేస్తారు కదా, వచ్చే 5 సంవత్సరాల్లో ఏం చేయాలి, what are the things which has to be done, which has to be taken up in coming 5 years, 10 years. So in that also, Panchayat Samiti plays a very, very important role, and especially how much finances will be required. So that accordingly, because see, many villages put together will form one block or one mandal. Okay. And so many mandals put together will form one district. So the requirements of that group of villages is presented by block development officer at Jilla Parishad level. And various social welfare programs, area development programs are also taken up by our Panchayat Samiti. Am I clear, friends? Any questions? Steve, we are also there. Okay. So that I get confidence that you all are with me. Are you all here?
Yes, ma'am.
See, that is the agony of a teacher taking an online class. When you are in a physical classroom, it's clear to you that whether people are there with you or not, but in online classroom, that is the agony of a teacher, right? So this is where We have discussed this. Now coming to Jilla Parishad, all the block development officers, they are accountable at district level to Jilla Parishad. And district level planning is done by Jilla Parishad officers. And Jilla Parishad also supervises the work done by Panchayat Samiti or at a mandal level. And it advises the state government on the working of Panchayati Raj system. Like how in that respective district is Panchayati Raj institutions like the Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabha, Panchayat Samiti, is it working efficiently or not? What are the challenges? How it can be improvised? All those things, feedback to the state government is also given by Jilla Parishad. It approves the budget at block level, which is a very, very important function. Funding resources are very, very critical aspects of Panchayati Raj institutions, and at district level, the maintenance of primary schools, secondary education, health centers, hospitals, basically education infrastructure, health infrastructure, that is also taken care by Jilla Parishad, and it supervises all the development programs which has to be implemented in coming 5 years. Friends, I've always believed in one thing, that in a country like India, if two things are proper, first is education. Education, infrastructure, primary education to secondary education to higher education. If education, infrastructure and education system is good, and if healthcare system is good to the extent of being called as best, then there is no stopping for development. ఏదైనా దేశంలో ఏదైనా సమాజంలో అంటే ఇన్ని సంవత్సరాల నుంచి ఒక సమాజ శాస్త్రి విద్యార్థిగా నాకు ఏమనిపించిందంటే ఏదైనా దేశంలో ఏదైనా సమాజంలో ఈ రెండు ఇర్రెస్పెక్టివ్, మీరు ఏ కాస్ట్, ఏ రీజన్ నుంచి ఉన్నారు, రిచ్ ఉన్నారా, పువర్ ఉన్నారా, ఇర్రెస్పెక్టివ్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ సోషియో ఎకనామిక్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్, అందరికీ మనము క్వాలిటీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇంకా క్వాలిటీ హెల్త్ కేర్ ఇవ్వగలిగితే డెవలప్మెంట్ ప్రాసెస్ ఎక్కడ కూడా ఆగదు, నిరంతరంగా అభివృద్ధి జరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఇలాంటి సందర్భంలో అండ్ ఇన్ సచ్ అ కాంటెక్స్ట్ Panchayati Raj institutions can play a very, very important role. My dear friends, please do not think that this is only important from examination point of view. No, of course, ఖచ్చితంగా దీని మీద మీకు ఎగ్జామ్ లో ప్రశ్నలు వస్తాయి, పంచాయతీ రాజ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ గురించి మీకు ప్రశ్నలు వస్తాయి. కానీ ఒక సిటిజన్ గా కూడా, ఈవెన్ యాజ్ అ సిటిజన్, దిస్ పంచాయతీ రాజ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ ఇస్ one of the strongest pillar of local governance, rural governance and rural development. And please remember, if India has to develop, its villages have to be developed. If you are doing development only in cities and if you are ignoring your villages, then again there will be imbalance in your development process. And imbalanced regional development is one of the social challenges which we will have to face. Now moving ahead, now we go to the next part of your block 5, in which we will talk about, see, so far I have spoken about local power structure. See, this is the block 5 I am talking about, right? So in yesterday's class and today up to now, I was trying to put across you some important aspects with regard to power structure, Panchayati Raj system. Now, for next few minutes, let us discuss about political reservations, sections in the political process. So reservation, we all are aware, we all have been directly or indirectly, we are familiar with this concept. So it is a system of affirmative action. See, when our constitution was formed, our constitution makers, they thought that in order to uplift the marginalized sections, some strong support is required, and that is why the reservation policy for 10 years. Initially, it was only for 10 years. It was announced so that government can make all possible efforts to uplift the weaker sections. ఈ ఉద్దేశంతోనే రిజర్వేషన్ పాలసీ మన కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ మేకర్ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు, and it was only for 10 years. But now we see that in August, India will be celebrating its 75 years of independence. We are still continuing with reservation. Now, whether reservation is good, bad, it should be there or it should not be there, that is definitely a huge debatable matter. But right now, we are not going to discuss that. We will try to understand that how reservations have played a very, very important role for the upliftment of weaker sections with regard to education, employment, and political system. Because this paper is political sociology, we will try to understand that how reservations have played a significant role in providing a platform to the weaker sections. And especially when I talk about Panchayat level law, Article 243D of Indian Constitution says that seats will be reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and also women. So in every panchayat, now how many seats have to be reserved? It will completely depend upon their population. The number of seats are reserved in accordance to, in proportion to their population, and out of the seats reserved, not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats will be reserved for women belonging to scheduled caste or scheduled tribes respectively. Now, there is a lot of debate globally happening about women empowerment. Are you all aware of SDGs? I'm putting it on the slide so that this is not directly related with this topic, but SDGs, do you know what is it, my dear friends? Sustainable Development
Goals.
Very good, fantastic. So Sustainable Development Goals, one of the goals is also connected with women empowerment. So when we talk about women empowerment, my dear friends, it is the ability of taking decisions. So you can definitely ask me, Vinitha, then women don't have ability to take decisions that you're talking about women empowerment? Women indeed have the ability to take the decisions, but they are not allowed to take decisions because of the patriarchal structure of our society. పురుష ప్రధాన సమాజం ఉంది కాబట్టి చాలా సందర్భాల్లో మహిళలకి నిర్ణయాలు తీసుకున్న స్వాతంత్రం లేదు. Now, many things have changed. ఇప్పుడు, especially when you talk about urban areas, many things have changed. Women are progressing. But you will definitely agree with me, my dear friends, that even today there are pockets, there are areas where women are not allowed for education, they are not allowed to work, and all the time either they have to be dependent on their father before marriage, and after marriage either on husband, and after in her old age on her sons. So in this kind of a scenario, it was thought that you should definitely involve women in political participation. And if you have to ensure women empowerment, political participation of women is very, very important. And that is why seats were reserved for women at Panchayati level, because this is one of the very prominent, significant local governments. Now, some of you, I'm sure you must be thinking in your mind, political participation istaru, mahilal husbands rule chestaru kada ani meeru మీ మైండ్ లో ప్రశ్న రావచ్చు. You may think, you may contradict my point by saying that, Vinitha, you are right. Technically, what you are saying is right. But it is also a fact that when women become sarpanches, they don't rule, their husbands rule. It is also fact, it is also a reality of Indian society. But I'm sure you will also agree with me. When such kind of a scenario is there where women are allowed to do political participation, then societies will definitely progress. And that is where, I want to talk about Madeleine Albright. Her quote is this is not directly there in your material, but when I was preparing for the class, I thought I should share this with you so that all my young friends who are studying political sociology, they should be convinced that democracy can function only if you are empowering your women. Please remember, women comprise 50% of the population. And if you are ignoring women development or women empowerment, you are ignoring 50% prospects of development in your country. I'm sure everyone will agree with this. So what is Albright saying? Beautiful lines, Success without democracy is improbable. Okay, so for a society to be successful, and democracy without women is impossible. And please don't think because I am a lady teacher and a women, I am trying to talk only about women. I'm not. I'm talking here purely as a student of sociology, because as a student of sociology, we have learned that even today, women empowerment is a huge challenge in a country like India. Yes. Though we have programs like, yes, okay. Even today, we have policies like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. But you know that even today in our country, we have problems like honor killing. We have female feticide. We have female infanticide. These are also the problems. Even today, it is there. Ammail puttangane champestaru. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు సెక్స్ డిటర్మినేషన్ టెస్ట్ ఇల్లీగల్ కాబట్టి అది కూడా జరుగుతుంది. పూర్తిగా బ్యాన్ అయిందని మనం అనుకోకూడదు. దానిలో కూడా కొన్ని లూప్ హోల్స్ ఉన్నాయి. మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ మనం ప్రభుత్వానికి బ్లేమ్ చేయకూడదు, ఎందుకంటే మనం కూడా దానిలో డైరెక్ట్ గా ఇండైరెక్ట్ గా ఇన్వాల్వ్ అవుతున్నాము. అమ్మాయి ఉంది అంటే, మదర్ ఇస్ ప్రెగ్నెంట్ విత్ గర్ల్ చైల్డ్, there are people who also abort their child. So even in such kind of a social scenario, we will have to talk about women empowerment. So friends, I hope I'm making sense of what I'm saying. Yes, political participation of women, why it is important? Why do you think that women should participate? Chala mandi ippudu kuda ide anukuntaru kada, women are much better suited in the kitchen. 100% right, women are best suited in the kitchen. But if women can run the family, women can also run the country. Am I right, friends?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What
Yes,
about my male colleagues in the class?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you are not getting angry. See, please don't think that I'm saying this because I'm a woman. I'm saying this because we have seen that, women are being killed, girl children are being killed. It's a fact. Women are killed because of dowry. Women also face domestic violence. But at the same time, I do not support the Domestic Violence Act, because in Domestic Violence Act 2005, men interests have not been protected. I feel it is a partial law. And I'm telling this on record. Our class is being recorded. I'm telling you this on record, and as a student of sociology and as a citizen of this country, I feel that Domestic Violence Act, it is only safeguarding the rights of women, but many men have been left out in that, and especially in families where husbands are beaten up by wives. Even this is a social problem, my dear friends. Social problem where women, wives, beat their husbands, and because socially, legally, police and all are more tilted towards women, many times even genuine men they face a lot of harassment. So that point is also equally valid. Now, when you're talking about political participation of women, then see, when you are involving women, because women are considered to be more family-centric, more concerned with regard to, ensuring that the entire family gets educated. So policy making also becomes more responsive. I am not saying this. All these points which I am saying, it is available in our literature on the basis of research. ఇది నా పర్సనల్ ఒపీనియన్ కాదండి. రీసెర్చ్ చాలా చాలా డీటెయిల్డ్ రీసెర్చ్. మీరు విమెన్ పార్టిసిపేషన్ ఇన్ పాలిటిక్స్ మీద మీరు రీసెర్చ్ చేయండి, రివ్యూ ఆఫ్ లిటరేచర్, ఇవన్నీ అంశాలు మీకు తెలుస్తాయి. సో విమెన్ లీడర్షిప్ అండ్ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ రెజల్యూషన్, దే ఆర్ కన్సిడర్డ్ టు బి more democratic in nature. And even women who in a democratic system where there are hardcore party lines, women participation can be more democratic and she can work across party lines. Women lawmakers see government as a tool to help serve underrepresented or minority groups. And women are deeply committed to peace building. See, friends, whenever there is a conflict in a society, women become its direct victim. So you can definitely ask me, Vinitha, what are you talking? Even men become victim. You are right. Men also become victim. Why women also become more victim? Why am I telling you? Like, for example, you take out newspapers of any day which is reporting about ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. You should see that how women are, they are raped, they are kidnapped, they are sold to other countries as slaves. And that is how these terrorist organizations, they make money. In fact, few years back, Nobel Prize was awarded to one such woman. I'm not able to recall her name immediately. Probably Nazia, some name is there.
Malala Yusuf.
No, not Malala. Not Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai, she was not like sexual victim of terrorists. She was, shot. With God's grace, she survived that and she's moving ahead. There is one more woman who was kidnapped, and she was in ISIS captive for 6 months. She was constantly raped, and she saw so many women are constantly raped. They are sold in the markets, slave markets, and large scale flesh trade happens there. And somehow she ran out of that captive, and it is very difficult for a woman to talk about her sexual exploitation, that she was raped, but still she had the courage to tell to the world that she was exploited so badly, and for that courage she was given Nobel Prize. So friends, in societies which are conflict stuck, it is believed that women can be much better peacemakers, because nature has given them a relatively more element of that femininity. Okay, so probably that is the reason. It doesn't mean that our male counterparts are anywhere less. They are nowhere less. And any society can develop if only these two work in complementarity with each other. We should not be a society of male domination. At the same time, we should not also have a society of female domination. It has to be an egalitarian society where both male and females work equally in tandem with each other. And if that has to happen, for that also we need to ensure better participation of women. Now, we are left with 2 more slides where we will broadly try to talk about what are the constitutional safeguards which are provided for a better political participation, especially of the marginalized communities. So we are here with Article 330 and 332, which provides for specific representation by providing reservation of seats to our scheduled caste and scheduled tribe community members in parliament and state legislative assemblies. And as part of one of the very important constitutional amendment, 81st constitutional amendment in the year 2000, which enables state to fill the unfulfilled vacancies of a year, which are exclusively reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So we are trying our best to provide that upliftment. And similarly, Article 243D is very, very important because it provides reservations for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and women in Panchayat. 233T provides in municipality. Municipality are our urban local bodies. And Article 335 of our constitution says that claims of, 2 times STs or children, it should be SCs. Claims of SCs and STs shall be taken into consideration constituently with maintenance of efficacy of administration. So administration ki efficiently nadpiyalante అందరిది equal participation ఉండాలి. Many times if you tend to ignore marginalized communities because they are powerless, then again you are inviting imbalanced development. And any society which is having imbalances in its development process, then that's a huge injustice to the community of people who are living there. In fact, if you see the entire Telangana movement also, Telangana movement, of course, there were many reasons. One of the reasons was also Telangana Atma Gauravam gurinchi kuda Telangana movement చాలా అంటే చాలా ప్రామినెంట్ అయింది. కానీ ఇక్కడ కూడా ఏమైంది, ఇప్పుడు యునైటెడ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు కూడా తెలంగాణ గురించి ఎందుకు చాలా మంది కన్సర్న్ ఉన్నారు, ఎందుకంటే వి వర్ సీయింగ్ ఇన్బ్యాలెన్స్డ్ రీజనల్ డెవలప్మెంట్. ద పాకెట్స్ ఇన్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ దే వర్ showing relatively more development, but the pockets in Telangana region, they were not showing development. And there were so much of imbalances in development in one state. And probably this is what that no, when Telangana has so many resources, why we should be left behind, why we cannot develop, why we should not develop. All these concerns were also part of our Telangana movement. So friends, the example nenu enduku istunanante, why am I especially quoting this example, because all these constitutional safeguards are basically to provide balanced participation of all the communities. Okate community political process lo అనుకోండి, అనుకోకుండా లేకపోతే కావాలని కూడా అనుకోకుండా కూడా కొన్ని కమ్యూనిటీస్ కి మనం లెఫ్ట్ అవుట్, దే విల్ ఫీల్ లెఫ్ట్ అవుట్, విల్ నాట్ బి ఏబుల్ టు థింక్ అబౌట్ దెమ్. ఐఎమ్ షూర్ ఇఫ్ దేర్ ఇస్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, when there is better women representation in a state cabinet or in a central level cabinet, I'm sure the thought about women development, women policies will also be better. Same is the case with regard to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, minority participation. So in political sociology, this is a very, very important element. Part 16 deals with reservation of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in central and state legislatures. Similarly, we have Article 15 Clause 4, Article 16 Clause 4, which enables state governments to reserve seats in government services, and 77th Amendment Act 1995, which enables government to provide reservation in promotion also. In fact, this has been a very debatable issue, that once you are giving them reservation, once they're scheduled caste, scheduled tribe or minority, whatever reservation one is using, once the reservation is being given to them, it means they have already been uplifted. And after their upliftment, why reservation should be considered in promotion, that was also a matter of great national debate. And Another clause 4A was modified by 85th Amendment Act to provide consequential seniority to SC and ST candidates promoted by giving reservations. So basically, all these points, even the examples, all these articles, all these amendments, what we have discussed in last 5 to 8 minutes, they are the examples to convey that if you have to have an overall development, then you have to ensure participation of the weaker sections. And in a country like India, if you have to ensure political participation, our constitution makers felt that reservation was one of the best ways, and that is how this policy was officially included in India's constitution, and this is called as protective discrimination. Reservation policy is termed as protective discrimination because our constitution says that people should not be discriminated on the basis of their caste, class, region, religion, gender. ఇది చెప్తుంది కదా, రైట్ టు ఈక్వాలిటీ, అందరికి ఈక్వల్ గా కన్సిడర్ చేయాలని నా కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ చెప్తుంది. కానీ మీరు అందరికి ఈక్వల్ ట్రీట్ చేసి మీరు డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేయకపోతే రిజర్వేషన్స్ ఎలా ఇస్తారు? సో యు ఆర్ డిస్క్రిమినేటింగ్, but in order to protect them. That is why reservation policy was also called as protective discrimination. And there is no denial about this. There is no second thought about this. That this kind of a political participation has played a very, very important role in upliftment of the marginalized communities. But why I'm adding but? ఇప్పుడు మీరు అడగొచ్చు నాకు, వినీత ఇది చెప్పిన తర్వాత కూడా ఇఫ్స్ అండ్ బట్స్ ఏం చెప్తున్నారు మీరు? బట్ వాట్ ఐ వాంట్ టు సే ఇస్ మెనీ టైమ్స్ such provisions are also misused. Once you get reservation, you become part of that creamy layer, but still we know that how all these policies are being misused, and especially when you talk about political participation of the weaker sections, we will see that dynasty politics is also one of the serious concerns with regard to political process in India. So friends, this is what I wanted to discuss as part of our political sociology. And in today's class, we have tried to talk about Panchayati Raj institutions and how political participation of the weaker sections can be made possible by providing reservations. If you have any questions, any doubts, any observations, you can share, you can ask, you can convey, you can contradict any of my points also. I'm also open for all kinds of criticism and contradictions. So next, we have still 7 more minutes to 4. If you have anything to ask, you can ask me. And I think most of you in your mind, it must be going on that what could be the important questions for your exam. And as I already told you in yesterday's class, that block-wise, there are 3 units. Out of 3 units, 1.5 units you try to be very, very perfect. And block 1, I told you to definitely prepare for nature and scope of political sociology. That is very, very important. Then for unit 3, you can definitely get for short notes. Political systems, political process, and political socialization, you can get for short notes. I was not in a position to contact Dr. Ramna, but because fortunately with the efforts of Bindu, we have a WhatsApp group. In a day or two, whenever I'm contacting him, I will update the pattern of your examination. And in block 2, left a question on state power and authority. State power and authority, and with regard to pressure groups, pressure manchiga prepare cheyandi. Now you can also ask me, Vinitha, on what basis am I saying that these are important questions? I am saying that these are important questions on the basis of that being related with political sociology. Political sociology you cannot discuss without talking about state power and authority. You cannot talk about political sociology without the elite structure. How is the power elite operating? What groups of that political cannot exist. Other than the third law, society. ప్రశ్న వస్తుంది. Yeah, I just got disconnected for some time, but not to worry. I hope I'm audible clearly to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, like pluralistic society is there. So, just give a generic reading, because in pluralistic society, again, what is the emphasis? See the word. Only if societies are plural in nature, means encouraging diversity, different caste groups, different religious groups, different genders, all are represented, the political system will also go smoothly. So కొన్ని సీరియస్ గా థరోగా ప్రిపేర్ చేయండి, కొన్ని ఒక జనరల్ రీడింగ్ ఇచ్చండి, బికాస్ దట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ ఇస్ జనరల్. ఓకే, సో ఒకసారి జనరల్ రీడింగ్ ఇచ్చేస్తే ఒకవేళ ఆ ప్రశ్న వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, మీకు రాయడంలో ఎటువంటి ఇబ్బంది కాదు. దెన్ this caste, class, ethnicity, and religion in Indian politics. In fact, Block 4 was dealt by Dr. Bhavani Shankar. So you can also read those lessons, and you are going to get a question on Panchayati Raj institutions without fail. Very, very important. Panchayati Raj institutions, because they are the foundations of power structures, and without discussing Panchayati Raj institutions, discussing political sociology in Indian context is incomplete. So important is Panchayati Raj institutions. Then, of course, reservation also you can get, because that is also one of the hottest topic nowadays. And now you know that 10% reservation also has been given for economically weaker sections. So you can, while writing your answer, apart from what you have read, also try to add those contemporary aspects, because this material is written 2 years, 3 years back. లేటెస్ట్ విషయాలు దానిలో రాకపోవచ్చు, అయితే నీ బ్రాడ్ రీడింగ్ బేసిస్ మీద ఆ అంశాలు కూడా మీరు మీ ఆన్సర్స్ లో ఇంక్లూడ్ చేస్తే ఇవాల్యుయేషన్ చేసే వాళ్ళు కూడా ఆనందంగా ఇవాల్యుయేషన్ చేస్తారు. So friends, that is what I have from my side. If anything else you want to ask, you want to say, you want to share, please do that. All clear?
Yes, ma'am. Everything clear.
Okay. So then all the best for your exams. I think very shortly, probably next week onwards, you have your exams. I'm sure you all will read well, do well, and please do not make yourself only examination centric, my dear friends. As a student of sociology, I will only tell you one thing. Sociology is an ocean. Continue to explore the drops of this ocean. And of course, examination is important, but do not orient yourself only from the examination point of view. ఎందుకంటే మంచి మార్కులు తీసుకురావడం ఈ మధ్య పెద్ద ఛాలెంజ్ ఏమి కాదు, కానీ సరి అయిన నాలెడ్జ్ సంపాదించుకోవడమే పెద్ద ఛాలెంజ్ ఉంది ఈ రోజుల్లో. So I wish you all the best for your examinations, and also all the best for your all future endeavors. And if any of you want to further do sociology and If you think that you need to talk to somebody, I'm always available. I'm just a phone call away. Write your exams well while your preparation with regard to political sociology or anthropology. If you have any doubts, you can call me up. You can also WhatsApp me. You all have my number, right? And after this also, if anyone wants to do PG sociology or wants to go ahead with PhD sociology also, feel free to contact. Okay, friends? So all the best. Be safe, be happy. God bless you all, and hopefully we all are able to make this world a much better place to live. Okay? So thanks a lot, friends.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So thank you, host at Ambedkar Open University. Thank you very much for all the technical support which you have provided. And it's a wonderful experience to get connected with Ambedkar Open University through online. So thanks a lot to host of BR Ambedkar Open University, and all the best, friends. All the best. Take care. Be happy. Be safe. See you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.